That was "Hey Boy in the Pines" by Animal Planet. A very, very, I guess, exhilarating song. In the sense that it relaxes you, but it keeps you tense at the same way. Anyway, welcome on into episode 41 of God on Monday Talk Show with me, your host, Mr. San Andreas. I mean, it is quite something special getting to number 41. I mean, it's something else. I'll tell you that it is something else. But yeah, no, it's good being here. I guess we have a lot of stuff to get through today. I will say that we do have a lot of stuff to get through today, from Resident Evil to Red Dead Redemption to even God of War, is all on the talking point today. But as always, we'll start off today with what games did I play this week, and if you have yourself played any games this week, do you want me to talk about it, or you just want to say you played a game this week, then make sure to go on into our website and use the music request feature, which is in the bottom right hand corner, or you can go to our social medias and tag us there, or on our Discord. I will say something though. The website, as of recently, has got its own brand new kind of brand new revamp. We were developing the website there in the last few weeks, and really took what our community said and what our own staff team said, and we kind of looked at it, and we've done that. So we've added loads of new stuff to the website. We've now got our own TikTok, our own Facebook and everything, and we've also got a new scheduling thing on the website, so you can see when I'm live, you can see when the other DJs are live, you can see what days our shows are on, what days we don't shows on. And you can also see all our latest YouTube videos and all the good stuff on our website now. So it's much more of a community-based website where you can really get everything going over there. Which I think it's a nice feature altogether. It is a nice feature. Anyway, moving on to the next little bit of things you have to do today. What games did I play this week? We're going to start off with a nice one. Obviously, 5M was the first game I played this week. If you don't know 5M, it's basically an add-on mod for GTA 5 that allows people to take their story to the next level by being their own character. This week, wow, what a hellhole for some of my characters. My Tom character's going through a little bit of I guess a little bit of pressure would be the right way of saying it, but it's something new. One week one thing I've definitely discovered through RP is that it gets heavy real fast, and then for like months, it's just absolutely just nothing going on, and then it just gets really, really heavy really, really fast. And it is something that I've discovered the more I've RP'd, and the more I've kind of took each level up, because obviously after a time you feel like you're going nowhere, so you move on, and it just kind of gets to the point where it's an unneeded stress in your life. I mean, RP isn't RP anymore. It's just, people going online to make themselves feel better in a virtual character. That's what I'm kind of finding to be nowadays. And I don't like that. I don't like it for the fact that, I'm not there for that. I'm not there to just be I guess like a chess piece for someone to play with. I'm there to have my own little thing going and be an individual. And it's a bit shit when you're just you feel like you're just someone else's toy. And I feel like that's something coming with RP nowadays. But Mradio RP is going very good. If you don't know, we have our own communities and everything over there, so it's something fun, it's something good, it's something different. But that's something I would say, start off low and maybe stay there, because when you get high, it doesn't get much fun at all. I also played Cyberpunk this week, and Cyberpunk's certainly an interesting game. I talked about it last week. It's one of those games where, I don't have a problem with at all. I think it does some things very good and does some things badly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like thinking to myself, what can I say about Cyberpunk except for who my favorite character is? And I'm trying to think who my favorite character is right now. It's probably someone like Jackie or Panam. I feel like they both have Panam and the whole kind of tribe there, or the nomad. I don't know what they're called. They're just called nomads. So I guess it would be a tribe. I felt like that was a really good story. I didn't. I felt like if you just made like a lot of the game just that, it would have been pretty fine. And I'm liking some of the storylines that are developing, and not so much all the side missions. I just feel like there's an influx of side missions in Cyberpunk, which I'm not liking at all. And another game I played this week was Fallout 4. And I actually have some sad news about a character from Fallout 4. Like, what's someone who was based on a character, should we say it. But Fallout 4, another good game, and you can never go wrong with Fallout 4. What I have been hearing though on the market is its predecessor, which is Fallout 76. I've been hearing good things in the market about that. They've done a lot of improvements with it, which, you know, it's something good to hear, you know, in the gaming world. SnowRunner, of course, another good one. I found with SnowRunner, it's actually rare that you're running in the snow. It's like Mud Runner, only, you know, they mask it with SnowRunner. So I think they just added a DLC and said, listen, it's going to be a small part of the game, but we'll advertise it like it's the biggest part of the game. I hate when movies do that, especially. You'll see in some movies they'll have this badass villain in the trailer, and it'll be looking really cool, and they'll have like a villain for like a total of 20 minutes in the actual film. So I feel like that's what SnowRunner's done here. It's advertised this whole thing about, oh, you know, really heavy stuff, you know, stuck in the snow, having to do all that, but it's just really just Mud Runner with one extra DLC. In saying that, I don't mind it. It's fine when you're doing all right, but when you get stuck, it's like so demotivating. It's because, you know, I don't know what to do. It's I remember I saw like a truck. So the way is you go to a truck, you claim the truck, and then you drive the truck to the garage. That sort of deal. And I was like, I found this really nice kind of Ford truck, and I was like, hey, that's a nice truck. But it was, I feel like I'm saying truck excessively, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I saw it and I was like, alright, that's nice, I'm going to go get it. And it's across a field, and the field looks like a field, so I'm like, listen, this is a heavy duty truck. It has no problem going across a field. I was like, it's going to be no problem at all. So I started going across the field, okay? I'm mowing along and it's going great until I get into this wet, soggy bit. And I'm like, it's just a wet, soggy bit. I'm just going to keep going. But that's not the case, because the wet, soggy bit is actually like a goddamn whole river in itself. And it just keeps going down and down and down. So I'm like, obviously this isn't going to work. So I start reversing. And when you reverse out of a hole, you have to reverse further than you were when you went into the hole. I find that's the case with SnowRunner. And so I'm backing up and I hit the fence. Okay, and then after the fence there's these trees. So I'm stuck between trees, a fence, and a huge mud puddle. And I just gave up there and then. I like tried to get out of it for 10 minutes and I said, I'm not wasting my day doing this. And that's how I stopped playing SnowRunner for a few weeks, because I was just like, no, I'm not subjecting myself to this waste of time. You know, if a video game proves to be like a difficult challenge, fine. But if a video game like SnowRunner, you know, something that's just an open play game, there's no missions, it's gonna be a sandbox where you just go around and do stuff. Once it's impossible to continue to do stuff, I was like, I see no point in that at all. And lastly, the game I played this week was Prison Architect. I found the game like on PC to be like extremely underwhelming, if that makes sense. I tried it on Xbox and I was like, holy shit, man, this is like fantastic. I'm loving it. It's fantastic. And then when I went to try it on when I went to try it on PC, it was like, oh god, this is like a different experience altogether. I don't know what it was. It just didn't meld with me at all. It was like, what's this game I'm playing? Overall, I think Prison Architect is a solid game for a lot of people. For me though, it was just like the constant sitting there and building a prison, and it's not like something I can even use. I just look at it. I hate when like you have to just build something and you don't use it at all. I hate that altogether. Like when I do something, I want it to have like a benefit to me, you know, and not just something that's pleasurable to look at. So that's why Prison Architect, you know, was never my favorite game. On Xbox, I loved it because they had this mode where like you could be the prisoner. So you'd be the prisoner and you try to like escape and live life as a prisoner and everything. And that was a really fun game mode because it was like escapists, but it was like better crafted. So I was like, that's a good thing. It's escapists, but better crafted. And then when I went to PC, you know, they had it and everything, but it sucked ass. I mean, like, it sucked major ass. I didn't like it at all, to be honest. I felt like when I started Prison Architect and when I started the game mode, which allows you to like be a prisoner, I picked like a custom prison, and what happened was they put me in like this whole like just sector of a jail by myself, like no roommates, nothing, and to get to anywhere I'd have to go through like 3 or 4 gates, and to escape obviously I'd need tools, so I'd be bringing tools to like 3 or 4 gates, and like it was just such a job. Like I was at one point I just started stabbing everyone I saw. Like I saw someone, I started boxing or stabbing them. When I saw something I could break, I could just break it, just so people would come to my cell. Like it got really desperate near the end. I remember like it was shower time in the prison, and obviously I'm in like the jail sector alone, so it's just me. So I start punching the shower just to have prison guards come and arrest me, just as someone to see, because it was so boring. Overall, I think Prison Architect is certainly, it's like Minecraft. It's a game for people with particular taste, and it's not mine, I don't think, anymore. But I'm trying to get back into it because it does have some good aspects about it. There's no denying it's a good game at all. Anyway, moving across from that section is a section of what game would I recommend this week. This is one of my personal favorite sections because I can just take any game that I've played in the past or haven't played. Last week we had a game I hadn't played, and just kind of recommend it to people. This week it's a game I have indeed played, and I played it quite a few years ago, but I recently played it as well, which is GTA 4, the 4th edition, it's not actually the 4th edition in the major GTA franchise. It's closer to like the 7th or 8th, but that's neither here nor there. GTA 4 basically takes place in Liberty City, which is New York, and you're taking place as an immigrant, Nico Bellic. And I always looked at the story of the game, and it seems so complicated and profound, but whenever I try to put it in words, I never can. I can never describe the game like, oh, it's about this, and I can explain his motives, and Nico's motives is he's came to New York to see his cousin, but once he figures out his cousin lied about all the mansions he had and everything, it's for a revenge purpose. And I think he was always coming over to Liberty for a revenge purpose. He was wrongfully blamed for something that happened in the war, and I guess he was just trying to get revenge on the people who blamed it on him. But I thought it was a very, very good game, and it was definitely one of the eye-openers for me in the gaming world, as being a game that was just... Because I think for a very long time, games got into that pattern, and they still do tend to get into that pattern of levels, It's like, don't do anything too complicated, just have levels. So they do this, they do that, and then they move on. But with GTA 4, it was very much like, here's a huge city, do what you want to do. That was kind of the message with Liberty City, which I thought was just it was a fantastic game. It had some fantastic stuff, and as as a young guy who's playing video games, it provided me with hours of entertainment. I actually had it on the 360, so the disc I have that I used to play on the Xbox is a 360 disc. And it's a fantastic piece of art, I think. Anyway, we're going to go into our second music break now before we get on back into the news. And when we do come back, we'll be talking about Red Dead Redemption 2, the new Secret Lab Titan gaming chair, and of course Warzone glitches. So you can look forward to that when you come on back. If you haven't already, then make sure to check out all the Mradio social medias. That's Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at the Only Mradio, and YouTube and Twitch at Mradio. Now, up next is Symphony featuring Zara Larsson and Clean Bandit.
I've been hearing symphonies Before all I heard was silence, a rhapsody for you and me. And every melody is timeless. Life was stringing me along. Then you came and you cut me loose. Was solo singing on my own. Now I can't find a key without you. And now your song is on repeat, and I'm dancing on to your heartbeat. And when you're gone, I feel incomplete. So if you want the truth, I just wanna be part of your symphony. We hold me tight and not let go. Symphony, like a love song on the radio. We hold me tight and not let go. I'm sorry if it's all too much, but every day you're here I'm healing. And I was running out of love. I never thought I'd find this feeling, 'cause I've been hearing symphonies. Before all I heard was silence, a rhapsody for you and me. And every melody is timeless. And now your song is on repeat, and I'm dancing on to your heartbeat. And when you're gone, I feel incomplete. So if you want the truth, I just wanna be part of your symphony. We hold me tight and not let go. Symphony, like a love song on the radio. We hold me tight and not let go. And now your song is on repeat, and I'm dancing on to your heartbeat. And when you're gone, I feel incomplete. So if you want the truth, I just wanna be part of your symphony. We hold me tight and not let go. Symphony, like a love song on the radio. Symphony, we hold me tight and not let go. Symphony, like a love song on the radio. We hold me tight and not let go.
got color in your cheeks? Do you ever get that feel that you can't shift, the tide that sticks around like summits in your teeth? Are there some aces up your sleeve? Have you no idea that you're in deep? I dreamt about you nearly every night this week. How many secrets can you keep? Cause there's this tune I found that makes me think of you somehow, and I play it on repeat until I fall asleep, spilling drinks on my settee. Do I wanna know if this feeling flows both ways? Sad to see you go. Sorta hoping that you'd stay. Maybe we both know that the nights were mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day. Crawling back to you, never thought I'd call and run. You're right here, 'cause I always do. Maybe I'm too busy being lost to fall for somebody new. Now I thought it through, crawling back to you. So have you got the goods? Been wondering if your heart's still open, and if so, I wanna know what time it should. Simmer down and poker up. I'm sorry to interrupt, it's just I'm constantly on the cusp. I've tried and to kiss you. I don't know if you feel the same as I do. We could be together if you wanted to. Do I wanna know if this feeling flows both ways? Sad to see you go. Was sorta hoping that you'd stay. Didn't we both know that the nights were mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day? Crawling back to you, and I thought I'd call and when you better feel, 'cause I always do. Maybe I'm too busy being lost to fall for somebody new. Now I thought it through, crawling back to you. If this feeling flows both ways, sorta hoping that you stay. We both know that the nights were mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day. Do I wanna know? Too busy being lost to fall. Sad to see you go. Ever thought of calling down? I wanna know. Do you want me cry?
That was Arctic Monkeys, Do I Wanna Know, a fan favourite of everyone I personally know. They can't get enough of Arctic Monkeys, and a very, very good band. Anyway, welcome on back after the music break. I hope you do very, very well. And if you're not, I'm sure your day's going to get a hell of a lot better. Anyway, let's get right on into the news. So, Red Dead Redemption 2 has some unexpected value according to academics. If you spend enough time hunting animals in the virtual world, you might recognize them better in real life, says academics. So I mean that's I guess a positive. You know, it sounds like something like, you know, people trying to prove that video games aren't useless. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. He's like oh wait, no, video games do this and that. I mean, it's pretty cool, and it does make sense in that manner. I like Red Dead Redemption 2. It is extremely realistic, especially with gun control and hunting. You know, they recoil and everything, and weapons depreciate after a suspended amount of time. So I guess it is good to know that, and I mean, it's good to see that recognition is getting a praise onto her for that. Pirates claim Resident Evil 8 crack fixes performance problems. Basically, a crack is released, or I guess hacked game code that people, instead of buying it, they pirate it. So that's what it is, and these pirates have claimed that the Resident Evil 8 crack fixes performance problems that Ori 8 has been facing recently. By bypassing DRM, apparently bypasses frame rate drops too. So people are starting to find their own way of getting past performance issues instead of waiting for devs to go about it. So that's interesting. And our favorite gaming chair, the Secret Lab Titan, I think it's a fan favorite of definitely all the streamers and myself too, if I could ever afford it. Has received another major redesign. It's one of two chairs that has won an award as a gaming chair. Both Secret Labs, the Secret Lab Titan and the Secret Lab Omega. And what hell of a chair. I mean, if you don't know what they look like, I would advise looking them up, because they're fantastic chairs. I mean, for support wise, and just for how they're built, it's kind of like the Lamborghini of kind of chairs, only that it's built properly. It doesn't go fast. It's built properly. So that's a nice little touch right there. FIFA 22's PC edition will miss out on next gen features, and I was surprised to hear this, but after thinking about it for a while, it made sense to me about how no one really uses FIFA 22 on PC. You get the every I guess 1 in 10 people might say, oh, I want to be different, I want to get it on PC, but I guess the market really is on Xbox and PlayStation, probably more Xbox really for the PC, since Xbox 360 and everything, and because that's when FIFA really started to really glow up. So I guess it's really FIFA's staying with Xbox and has been the preferred console of FIFA, I guess. Well, that would be the way I'd see it anyway. And yeah, no, I definitely won't miss the features. I personally don't plan on getting FIFA 22 on the PC or on the console, so either way it doesn't make a difference to me. But it is handy information, I know. A Death Stranding's director's cut isn't a director's cut, says Hideo Kashiyami. I hope I pronounced that right. He's quoted saying, in the game it is not what was cut, but what was additionally produced that was included. So him being as philosophical as ever about stuff, but Death Stranding had a director's cut release recently. Now this is something that I was looking forward to talking about, mainly because I can just take the mickey out of it. A Warzone glitch lets players parachute into the gulag while invincible, and then you can punch someone to death. So once again, Warzone with more glitches. I mean, it's kind of a mandatory at this stage that Warzone has at least one really idiotic glitch per week. But it's something nice, isn't it? I really don't know how they keep doing it, because it's both ends of the stick are kind of shit on this one, because on one end you've got cheating players, on the other end you've got horrible glitches, and just in the middle you have like all the innocent players trying to play. So really, Warzone ain't having a good time, because I remember when it came out, everyone was saying, oh, it's not going to be hit, it's going to be useless, no one's going to play it. And it absolutely exploded up like about maybe a year or two ago. And people have been loving it ever since. But, as just comes with stuff, it's just being abused the heck out of, really. Witcher Season 2 has been announced for December the 17th. I'm personally looking very much forward to this. And a little fact I heard was Henry Cavill, who plays Geralt of Rivia, was supposed to use his normal voice for Geralt, but he forgot, so he just went with the voice that he'd done. Which, I mean, it worked quite well, the voice he used, but he was just going to use his normal voice. And he just forgot for some reason. I don't know, it seems like you're putting yourself under pressure by doing like a different voice. But it's something special, it's something fun, it's something different. Definitely, I think his performance brought something new to the character. It kept me engaged. I will say I hope Season 2's format is a little bit simpler than Season 1's. Because in Season 1, you were like switching timelines so fast. It was like 1 minute, I think Episode 1 was actually Episode 10. Or the last episode. The last episode is actually the first episode. and then in the middle it was just all jumbled up. I mean, it worked well, and I understood it and everything. I just, I'd hate for someone to watch the show and just not understand it altogether, because that'd be a pity altogether. But it's a good game. Not a good game. It's a good show. Well, it is a good game as well. The Witcher's a good game, but it's a good show, and I really hate for people to not get it or just wipe it off because it's too difficult to understand. Last night as well, the Euros 2020 final took place, even though it is 2021. We're 7 months on in, but I guess it's never too late, eh? It's never too late to have the Euros 2020 final. And then England have lost. I thought I'd be a lot happier about England losing, but the backlash today I think has been absolutely horrible. I saw Harry Kane step up and convert it, and I saw Harry Maguire step up and convert it, and then the next three penalty takers were Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, and Saka, which I was really disappointed to see. And Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho, I don't know why you'd really bring on Jadon Sancho, since I've never seen him as a clinical penalty taker. I would have saw someone like Sterling or maybe even Shaw as more prominent penalty takers than Sancho. And then Saka, I'm not too sure why a 19-year-old was subjected to probably the most important penalty in history. But I don't want to dwell on it too much, because the backlash that's been received from those three players has been horrific. It was just been horrific. For anyone who doesn't know Marcus Rashford, he is not only a talented football player, but really someone who he's an MBA. He's just a great guy. He feeds the poor. He educates the poor. He produces books on how to build self-esteem and confidence. And recently his mural in Manchester was vandalized with racist stuff on it. So that was quite sad to see. And of course, the overwhelming love for this group of players kind of does shadow out the overwhelming hate for them. But it's still kind of really sad to see the hate being there. And I think all over the football world, everyone has solemnly agreed that the English fans have been the worst part of this tournament. And it's kind of sad to see, when was the last time you looked at a tournament and said, hey, the worst part of this tournament was the actual fans. You never see that at all. And I think this is like a perfect chance to look back on something that was brought up in Manchester United recently, and about like the 50 plus one rule, where the fans own major equity in the club, and they kind of have control of what happened. And I think if you ever gave the English fans any control over any club, it would fail in a matter of weeks, because this tournament has just shown how immature and how purely idiotic and selfish and racist they all are. And this is the furthest the group has ever made it in the last 50 years of English football, and it's quite sad to see the reaction from the fans. And I would like to see Southgate in another major tournament. I would like to see him there. I think I think mistakes were made in all parties, leading up to the final, and of course when the 130 minutes were up. But I think they fought bravely, and I think there's a lot to build on there. It's a good young generation, and if England don't do some major waves at the World Cup, I think it will be time to move on and look for someone else. I just think it's so typical of people. 1 minute Southgate, it's coming home, the next minute it's not. It's for you should be sacked. I remember after the Scotland match, it was absolute uproar, and it was really sad to see. I remember sitting there, and just a wave of sadness came over me, a wave of emotion came over me. And I remember saying to myself, was like, I'll go home and I'll go asleep, and nothing will really change for me. This result, it doesn't have any impact over my life. But those three players, or the whole English team, will go home and they'll be trolled and they'll be abused. And I guess, that is a part of football. They take on that risk the minute they put on the boots and tie the shoelaces. But at the same time, it doesn't give us an excuse to wipe it off and say it's normal. It should never be normalized. But that's just my opinion of it. You know, Lewis Hamilton and a load of other celebrities have recently come out and talking about it. And it's very rarely that I agree on anything with Lewis Hamilton, since, you know, it just I guess a stigma of culture that I just dislike him because he wins a lot. But I did agree with him. He had a good message on Instagram over there. But anyway, moving on to something possibly, I wouldn't call it more pleasant, but definitely different, more related to the aim of the talk show, is a Call of Duty Warzone world record holder denies cheating and goes to absurd lengths to prove it. And I saw this title and I didn't really want to elaborate on it further and find out more about it. But I did see the irony in it. First off, you know, Warzone and cheating, they kind of goes hand in hand. I believe the record is like a 61 kill record in Warzone, something crazy like that, and he goes to absurd lengths to prove that he didn't cheat. Either way, you know, overcompensating is sometimes just getting defensive about something that you truly believe, you know, or something that you actually did. But I do think it was I just think it was very ironic, because you got all these massive streamers, you know, you're talking 100,000 to like maybe 20 million in some cases, are just pure followers, and a lot of allegations are coming out against these people for cheating, and you really have to ask yourself, are these whole guys just building audiences off cheating? You know, is that how simple it is to gain traction in this world? Just, you know, cheat at stuff and you'll get somewhere. So I think it's setting up a lovely world for our young children. The Witcher 3 is getting a free DLC based on the Netflix show. So that's the kind of the game and the show colliding there. It's good to see. Job ads suggest a new Ubisoft studio is opening in Australia. They're looking for people to work on an open world multiplayer game. So who knows what that could be. I think it's really Watch Dogs, the next Watch Dogs, to be honest. Open world and multiplayer. It sounds like the next Watch Dogs, to be honest. But a new studio in Australia. That's an interesting choice. I mean, I look at Australia and it is a pillar of kind of, you know, of a country for a lot of the world. But just kind of looking at Australia right there. You know, where you're going to have the studio. It's going to be a tough choice to find out where the studio is. 'Cause it's not like a lot of countries where, you know, you can kind of find maybe like a center or like just a major place where you have like good access to skilled labor and a good workforce. But in Australia, you know, the whole middle of it is just cut off, so you just kind of have to pick a corner and run with it. You know, if I was them, I'd be going for the probably southeast around there. I'm trying to think what Victoria is that a place around there? I'm trying to think of the place down there right now. I think it's Victoria, yeah, near the islands. But yeah, no, I mean, just pick a corner and run with it, really, for Australia. That's the way I kind of see Australia being. Deathloop has a new video released, and it's teased that something's going on between the two main characters, Colt and Juliana. I'm looking forward to Deathloop quite a lot. If you don't know what Deathloop is, it's about an assassin who's caught in a loop about killing the same person every day, and you have to try avoid being killed from your fellow assassin who's also in the time loop. So it's kind of an interesting concept, being in a time loop and having to do the same thing over and over again. But I am quite excited to see what Bethesda do with the concept, because it's something you can build on. It definitely is something you can build on. Bethesda and Xbox donate $10,000 to the Humane Society in honor of dog meat. And now the character based on dog meat, the actual dog that it was based on was called River, and he recently died in the last 2 weeks, I think it was, which was very sad news to the whole of the internet. But Bethesda and Xbox have donated a sum of $10,000 to the Humane Society in honor of dog meat, and that's a very generous donation. But you think for Microsoft, a company who just spent $7 billion on Bethesda, they could have maybe upped it a little bit, but you know, I mean, I don't want to discredit the donation, but for a company that you know, isn't shy on buying up the whole video game industry, they sure are shy when it comes to doing I guess the honorable things that would be seen in a lot of people's eyes. But that's just it. Talking about honorable things, cybersecurity has to wake up since hackers now are targeting school systems, and that's how the wind goes. I haven't heard any actual cases of hackers targeting school systems, but apparently it is going around and it is a thing, and it's in the mainstream news. And I do think it's I don't know what's the benefit there of targeting a school system. I mean, I'm sure if I thought about it for long enough, I could probably find some kind of benefits in there. But you really kind of have to ask yourself, you know, for a long time, I guess the media perception of hackers was they were kind of anti-hero heroes. You know, they kind of lived in the shadows. And they literally lived in the shadows with the curtains drawn and the computer on. But you kind of have to ask is where was the head at when something like this goes on? I still don't know if it's true or not. I'm going with the kind of opinion maybe it is if it's in mainstream media. But it's an interesting thing to kind of hear about, because you're kind of wondering, you know, what's the benefit of it? You know, why would they go do something like that? I'd be thinking maybe it's because obviously school systems keeps the identity of all their students on the system, so maybe it's something to do with that. I wouldn't say there's too much money in schools these days. You know, if you're going through the system, maybe if you're going through like a fancy boarding school system, maybe. But for a regular school system, you know, you'd have a couple of grand there, probably at best. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, what's their motive here. But upping the cybersecurity, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It probably means they're going to up the actual security, making it harder to get into it. But it also means they're probably going to have a nice dose of paranoia, as I like to call it, about, you know, just kind of trying to look at everyone's data and figure out who's a hacker and who's not a hacker. But yeah, no, it's something that got me asking why, really, you know. Windows 11 will let you roll back to Windows 10, but you'll have to decide fast within a matter of days. I'm personally a fan of Windows 10. I don't like Windows 11. Windows 11 is forcing me to share a lot of data and a lot of things I don't like. It seems like Microsoft has really upped the security in this one, but as I said previously, upping security for a lot of companies just means looking into your data more to find out who you are and what you can do. So that's usually what that means when people say they're upping security. I mean, it's kind of like when you're at a nightclub, you know, to up security, they get more bouncers, they do more ID checks. You know, the literal definition of upping security is just finding out more. That's kind of it, to be honest. So I think it's interesting, to be honest. You know, see what Windows 11 be like. I'm personally not a fan of it. Microsoft is now OR rated in South Korea, and Microsoft is looking into a solution. I don't know why. Maybe South Korea are trying to discourage people from building. I honestly don't know. But for a game to be OR rated like Minecraft, I mean, certainly there's some kind of motives there. But if anyone's going to get a solution, it's going to be Microsoft, you know. Sorry about that, I had to take a drink of water. Well, yeah, no, that's an interesting thing to hear. Now, something that's definitely, I think, breaching the lines of security and people's personal data is Tencent is now using facial recognition to stop children in China from gaming all night. So Tencent have took the liberty of creating new facial recognition software to stop young children from gaming late at night. So I really, you know, the Chinese largest tech companies now doing this. Tencent's motives are often a mystery to me, but that's borderline creepy. I mean, if I knew that my child was probably being spied on to stop him from gaming all night, I'd just take away the games and be like, nah, I'm not letting you go anywhere near this. It's looking at you. But that's it, really. And yeah, no, it's something anyway. And NVIDIA DLSS support is finally coming to Red Dead Redemption 2 next week. So Red Dead Redemption 2 just got a graphics upgrade. I mean, what? a game like Red Dead getting an additional graphics upgrade. I mean, it's not something you hear of often, if I'm being honest. But it's happening. And Counter-Strike's latest patch says, "Don't cheat, please." That's literally what it says. I mean, it's effective. I mean, if I was asked not to cheat, please, oh, to hell yeah, I'm not cheating at all. I think Counter-Strike's just a game that was designed to be cheated on. It's cheap, it's low tier quality. I mean, I don't mean to insult Counter-Strike here, but it's hardly, modern and new. it's not like some of the first person shooters you have these days. It's nothing like that. So it is kind of designed to be cheated on. I mean, it is free. So that's usually the first step in people deciding to cheat on a game, is usually when it's free. If you have a paid game, you'll never have as many cheaters, and I'll tell you why. Because cheaters aren't bothered to spend money. That's why. And usually, video games that cost money, the studios have money, so they put more money into the security end of things, and all the anti-cheating software. So I mean, asking them not to cheat is a very nice gesture, but I think what you're really doing is giving more people the idea of actually cheating, since you brought up don't cheat. I just think it's gonna work backwards, if I'm being honest. God of War is coming to PlayStation Now on PC today, and I wanted to talk about PlayStation Now because I thought this was quite interesting. PlayStation Now, a lot like Xbox, the Xbox Game Pass has been getting a few good games recently. One of those major games is Red Dead Redemption 2 has been coming to Game Pass, and I thought that was quite interesting, to be honest, because I was like, obviously Sony are trying to up their online subscription presence, and I was like, why haven't Sony had the success that the Game Pass has had? And I came to a conclusion. And I used PlayStation Now a couple, I think it's nearly a year ago now, and I just didn't like it. And when I used the Game Pass, I liked it so much. And I was looking into it, and it was all about the accessibility of it. When I looked at the Game Pass, it was built into the Xbox home screen. Literally, with 2 clicks of a button, I'm there on the home screen of the Xbox Game Pass, browsing through the games, deciding what I want to play today. Where when you go to download PlayStation Now, it's like a total separate application you have to open. And I think that works in Xbox's favor. It's definitely not as I guess, advanced navigation-wise. Everything's fairly simple on the Xbox's interface. Everything's just there on the home screen, and with a few clicks of a button, you're there. But with PlayStation, it's all like, there's a very advanced navigation system. If you need something, you can find it. It's all there, but everything's in different applications. They don't do everything like it's built into the home screen. It's there and ready for you to use. It's like, hold up, we need you to load this, since it's kind of it's gonna take a pull on your console. Obviously it kind of results in better performance, but ultimately it kind of throws someone off from looking at something. It's like, oh, I have to go and take a whole application and load into it. I mean, this will take up my day. And one thing I found, that consumers, they tend to be very lazy. And I feel like if someone has to go into a whole new application and then browse games, it kind of throws them off. Where if the games are just there on the home screen to browse, it's like, oh, is that Halo, the new Halo? They put all their popular games at the very top, where what I noticed with PlayStation is they didn't really do that. They kind of, you had to go exploring. You saw the popular games on the application cover, but you had to go looking for them. And I just thought, yeah, that's probably what's doing it, people have no need to go looking into a total different application for the games that just really they probably already have. And I thought that was interesting. But that's going to finish it up for today's God Mode Monday talk show. I'm your host, Mr. San Andreas. So if you have enjoyed, make sure to check out all the Mradio social medias. That's Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at the Only Mradio. And YouTube and Twitch at Mradio. I've been your host, Mark and the Radio. I'm leaving you off today on a very strong note with The Weeknd with Daft Punk, I Feel It Coming.
Tell me what you really like. Baby, I can take my time. We don't ever have to fight. Just take it step by step. I can see it in your eyes, 'cause they never tell me lies. I can feel that body shake and the heat
me between your legs. You've been scared of love and what it did to you. You don't have to run, I know what you've been through. Just a simple touch and it can set you free. We don't have to rush when you're alone with me. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. You are not the single type, so baby, this the perfect time. I'm just trying to get you high, faded off this touch. You don't need a lonely night, so baby, I can make it right. You just gotta let me try to give you what you want. You've been scared of love and what it did to you. You don't have to run, I know what you've been through. Just a simple touch and it can set you free. We don't have to rush when you're alone with me. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. You've been scared of love and what it did to you. You don't have to run, I know what you've been through. Just a simple touch and it can set you free. We don't have to run.